Hello everyone! Today we're gonna read Detective Camp, A to Z Mysteries Detective Camp by Ron Rowling, Chapter 5. Now we only need to read 5 more chapters and then the story Detective Camp ends. And then I'm gonna come back with another fun story. It's the same A to Z Mysteries, but it's not Detective Camp. It's another one. I'm not gonna tell you, it's a mystery. So, today we're gonna read Chapter 5. Chapter 5. Dink grabbed Josh and pulled him out onto the cabin porch. What's going on? Josh asked. I haven't even brushed. Ruth Rose found the ring, Dink whispered as he tugged Josh out toward the trees. Ruth Rose joined them, scurrying from behind her cabin. It was hidden under my mattress, she whispered. She showed the ring to Dink and Josh. Do you think it's hers? Josh asked. What's her name? Mademoiselle Musset, Ruth Rose said. It must be, unless someone else is missing a ring. How did you find it? Dink asked. My mattress was crooked, she said. When I straightened it out, I felt the ring. So someone hid it there, Dink said. But why? I hate to say it, but maybe one of my cabin mates stole the ring, Ruth Rose said, and maybe they hid it in case Mademoiselle Musset decided to search the cabins. If she did, she'd find the ring under your mattress and blame you for stealing it, Josh said. Ruth Rose nodded. I know, she said. Josh chuckled. At least we know Remote the goat didn't eat it, he said. What should we do? Ruth Rose asked. Maybe we should tell the Darby, Josh said. No, they just get all upset if they thought one of their campers was a thief, Ruth Rose said. Should we give it back to Mademoiselle tomorrow? Dink asked. Explain how you found it under your... No, Ruth Rose interrupted, shaking her hand. Because then she'd go and upset the Darbys. Just then, Buzzy, Angie, and Luke came strolling toward the cabins, laughing and whispering. Ruth Rose pulled Dink and Josh farther into the shadows. I have an idea, she said. Let's sneak into the lodge later and leave the ring where Mademoiselle Musset will be sure to find it in the morning. Both boys stared at her. She'll just think she misplaced it, Ruth Rose went on. I guess that is the best thing to do, Dink said. How will we get in? The doors might be locked. The kitchen door isn't, Josh said. It doesn't lock. Remember how Mario told us the ghost gets in? Okay, set your watch alarm, Ruth Rose told Dink. She shoved the ring in deep into the pocket of her shorts. Meet right here at midnight. They split up, and Dink and Josh hurried into Moo's cabin. What's up, guys? Asked Buzzy. It's time to get ready for bed. We were just talking to our friend Ruth Rose, Dink said. Okay, fellas, you can read or whatever for 10 more minutes, then lights out, Buzzy said. Sleep tight and don't let the shady lady mother bite. Most of the kids laughed. Josh got undressed and climbed up the ladder to the top bunk. Dink did the same, pulling on blue pajamas. He set the alarm on his watch, then tried to read. He was reading about bobcats, but all he could picture was someone hiding a stolen ring under Ruth Rose's mattress. Later, all after the lights were out, he kept thinking about the ring. For some reason, he didn't believe one of the girls in Fox's cabin was the thief. Could it be Buzzy? In his mind, Dink kept seeing the Moo's cabin counselor on his knees next to Hunter's bed. Something very weird was going on in detective camp. Dink was dreaming. He was riding Remote the goat in through the forest with Ronald the rooster on his shoulder. Ronald began to chirp in his ear, and Dink woke up. The chirping was his watch. He fumbled the tiny button to shut the alarm off. Midnight. Sitting up, Dinka listened to the cabin noises. He heard a lot of soft breathing and a couple of deeper snores from Buzzy's bed. Dinka reached one leg up and kicked the top bunk to wake Josh. A moment later, Josh climbed down his ladder and stood next to Dink's bed. Dinka put a finger to his lips, then the two boys slipped out of the cabin. They hurried off the porch toward the trees. They were both in pajamas and barefoot. The damp grass tickled the bottoms of Dink's feet. The moon was only partly visible through the trees, but it cast a glow on the ground and cabins. "She'd better show up soon," Josh grumbled when they were deep in the shadows. "I'm right behind you," Ruth said in a very loud, raspy voice. Josh jumped and put his hand on his chest. "Why don't you give me a heart attack?" he hissed. Ruth grinned. "Gee, are most cabin boys afraid in the dark?" she asked. "No, but I owe you one scare," Josh said. "Okay, are we gonna do this?" The three of them hurried across the lawn, then the driveway. They crept past the picnic tables to the lodge back door. Dinka looked for lights, but the windows were totally dark. He reached for the doorknob when Josh's hand stopped him. "What if there's an alarm?" Josh asked. Dinka thought about all those paintings inside, and that collection of animals that looked like valuable silver. "There could be, I guess," he said, pulling back his hand. "Guys, if the Darwins didn't fix their broken lock, they sure wouldn't bother with an alarm," Ruth said. She turned the doorknob and the door opened. Dinka felt his heart suddenly begin racing, and they stepped into the dark kitchen. He crossed his fingers, hoping the Darwins were sound sleepers. Then he remembered that Mademoiselle Musset also slept in the house. He crossed more fingers. "This way," Ruth whispered. They walked around the long work table and then through the swinging door into the dining room. Moonlight shone through the windows, revealing a dining room table. On one end, a large towel covered a bunch of lumpy objects. Dinka lifted the towel. He found bottles of liquid, some cotton balls, a package of Q-tips, and a small painting out of its frame. Even in the dim room, Dinka could tell that the painting had been cleared. Dinka replaced the towel carefully. At the far end of the room, he noticed the trunk. It stood on its end, and the lid opened sideways like a door. Arranged on narrow shelves inside the trunk were brushes, more bottles, powders, a hammer, and a few books. The binding on the biggest book read 100 Years of American Painters. Josh was staring up at a massive moose head over the fireplace mantel. "He looked like you, Dink," Josh said. "Same ears." "Guys, look!" Rose whispered. She was pointing to a small cardboard box. On its side were the words, "All safe latex glove." "She wears these gloves," Rose said. "Why don't I leave her ring on the box? She'll have to notice it tomorrow." Dink nodded. "Good idea," he said. "Now let's get out of here before Josh trips over something and the cops catch us for burglarizing." Ruth carefully placed the ring on top of the box. The kids hurried out of the lodge and raced around the lawn toward the cabins. Angie and Buzzy were standing on the Moose cabin porch. They didn't look happy. "Uh-oh," Josh murmured. "Busted." "Where have you kids been?" Angie asked. Dink didn't know what to say. Josh opened his mouth like a goldfish gulping for oxygen. "I found Mademoiselle's ring," Ruth Rose finally admitted. "We were just returning it. I left it on our work table." Both of the counselors stared at her. "I found a ring under my mattress," Ruth Rose went on. "Dink and Josh and I didn't know what else to do, so we brought it to the dining room." "The ring was under your mattress?" Angie said. Ruth Rose nodded. "I don't know how it got there, honest." "You should have told one of us," Buzzy said. "We don't want you kids wandering around in the middle." "Ruth Rose, thank you for telling us," Angie broke in. "We'll take it from here. Now let's all get some sleep. Good night, everyone." She and Ruth Rose went next door for Bob's cabin. Dink and Josh followed Buzzy inside. "No more midnight rambles, guys," Buzzy whispered as he slid under his covers. Dink crawled into his sleeping bag, and as he was pulling it to his chin, the moonlight fell on one of his pajama sleeves. He noticed something yellow on the cuff. It looked like a painted smudge. Dink touched the smudge, and some of the yellow came off his finger. It definitely looked like paint, and it was still sticky. Where had he rubbed against the wet paint? Then he remembered the painting on the table in the large dining room. "Oh no," he muttered to himself as he closed his eyes. He hoped he hadn't damaged the painting. As he fell asleep, he pictured himself being sued for $1,000,000 for ruining a masterpiece. Now that is the end of chapter 5. Oh my gosh. Did Dink just ruin $1,000,000 painting? Oh my gosh. Maybe the painting was what Madame Salmonsay was doing for cleaning the painting. Will Dink go to the prison? Oh my gosh. Maybe in the end, Josh and Ruth Rose helps Dink to escape from the prison? No, I don't think that will happen. I think it will be closed and nobody will notice, I guess. The answer is in chapter 6. Let's see you at chapter 6 next time. Bye! Press subscribe and give a good for my video. Thank you!